G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well and I hope your New Year's Eve's treated you well because this cocktail is going live on New Year's Day local time, which if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, a different sort of part of the world, you may still be partying New Year's Eve when this goes live, but it's New Year's Day for me when this goes live. And I thought, what do we need for New Year's Day? We need something that might potentially help us get over the excesses of New Year's Eve. Hair of the dog, if you will. I actually looked up online, hair of the dog, and a whole bunch of suggested drinks came up that is supposed to be something to alleviate a hangover. If you'd never known where that phrase hair of the dog comes from, it was a supposed cure for rabies. If you were bitten by a rabid dog, part of what you needed for a cure was a hair of the dog that bit you. And that's with this idea of like, if you have a bad hangover, maybe it'll go away if you drink some more booze. Public service announcement, no it won't. There are no hangover cures. Anyone who says otherwise is full of it. Your number one hangover cure is to not get one. So to not drink too much. But a lot of us do from time to time overindulge and suffer a bit the next day. The second thing that can help quite a lot is to hydrate when you're drinking. So to intersperse your drinks with some water. And if you fail to do that, you are probably going to feel terrible when you wake up after a night of indulgence. Now, hydrating that day, drinking a lot of water, and having some headache tablets can help, but really the cure for a hangover is time. And anyone who says, "Oh, do this and ride of rain," bullshit. Okay, it's just bullshit. And I'm sure, and go for it in the comments if you want about, no, this always works. It does not. It's medically proven to not work, okay? It's been tested so many times. All the things about greasy food or coffee or blah, blah, blah does not cure a hangover. You can do various things to slightly alleviate it, but what you need is time. But that's not going to stop me because I found a fun recipe that was called hair of the dog that's supposed to help somewhat the day after a night of indulgence. So I'm going to make it now. And the first part of it goes in, this has been sitting in warm water. Some honey. This is some honey I got recently from a local maker. They have their own bees and they have a whole range of honeys that take up the flowers, take on the characteristic of the flowers of native plants. And there was a few to choose from. This is yellow box honey, but of course, wherever you are, use some honey you have. But the first step in this cocktail is to put 3 spoons of honey in your glass. This is a build in the glass drink. That's very imprecise. If you are going to be a precise person and measure that, I would say go for about 20 mils, somewhere around half to 3/4 of an ounce of honey in your glass. The next stage for this recipe said to add 2 ounces of whiskey. Use the whiskey of your choice. They went with Scotch. You could use Irish whiskey, bourbon, rye, a local whiskey to you. For a bit of fun, I'm going to do a split base. I'm going to do 1 ounce of this 100 proof Knob Creek American bourbon. This is a hangover cure, so this is eyeballing time. That's an ounce. And the other one I'm going to add is an Australian whiskey from Starward. This is their twofold, so called because it's a double grain whiskey, where they make it with wheat and malted barley. And it's a very gentle whiskey, this one actually. It's quite nice. So same deal, we're hungover, so we're not measuring. That's about an ounce of the that's not single malt, that's the twofold from Starward. Now, the recipe seems to think I will be able to blend the honey with the whiskey just by stirring in the glass. So I am going to give it a go. This may take a while. I might come back in a minute. After several minutes of mixing without making too much mess, I did basically dissolve the honey in the whiskey. I've added a big chunk of ice in there, the final touch for this hair of the dog, I recommend 1.5 ounces, 45 mils of cream. And I just thought, that's dull, that's boring. And I also picked this up at Christmas, an Irish cream liqueur. So this is fairly low alcohol, 16% alcohol by volume, an Irish whiskey-based white chocolate cream liqueur. It's pretty decadent. And so rather than just putting cream, I'm putting cream liqueur on top. And again, we're still eyeballing, and I think it's about 1.5 ounces to top that off. And we'll do a little bit of stirring. My Gaz Regan's finger. Oh, there we go. Gotta get a mix of the whiskey and the cream liqueur. Well, even if it isn't a hangover cure, oh God, there we go. I was doing so well up until that point. Even if it isn't a hangover cure, kind of looks like something I'd drink for breakfast. Something kind of wrong with sucking the drink off Gaz Regan's finger. Or is it right? Is that what it is? So, the final hurdle. Now going to taste my hair of the dog. And if I were feeling under the weather, would this make me feel better? Wow. Tell you what, it's really decadent, I'll give it that. Obviously if you use actual cream, it's going to be quite a different character to using a cream liqueur. I regret nothing. I'm gone with that, but that's actually not bad. I think I would probably prefer this as a dessert drink at the end of an evening. I'm not sure if I was feeling under the weather after a night of indulgence, if I'd want something creamy in the morning. I'm not sure that would sit right. Hopefully I don't have to find out. Hopefully I don't overindulge to the point where I feel like I need a hair of the dog. Again, public service disclaimer, no such thing as drinking booze to make a hangover go away, okay? That is bad for you. That is bad, okay? Don't do that thinking it's going to make you feel better. It's just postponing feeling worse. But just as a drink, I don't mind this at all. Like I said, there was a little bit of an effort to get the honey to dissolve in the whiskey. Honestly, it would have been less hassle to have a honey syrup. And clearly the honey taste wouldn't be as strong if it was a honey syrup. So I assume there's this thinking that concentration of honey is somehow going to help make you feel better. Again, pretty unscientific in my book. But just as a dessert drink, it is not bad at all. Yep, so I think I'd have this one at the end of a night rather than first thing in the morning or first thing in the afternoon if it's a particularly bad night that you're recovering from. But I do not mind this at all. The simplicity, honey, scotch and cream, or in my case cream liqueur. It's not something I drink a lot of because I think you'd start to, it would feel a bit sickly if you had more than one of these. But as a one-off, I'm down with it. Please feel free to tear into me in the comments. You don't know what you're talking about. I definitely have a hangover cure. Definitely works for me. Science says otherwise, but you know, I'm all for open and robust debate. So yeah, let me know if you have what you consider to be a hangover cure, or at least a hair of the dog that makes you feel a bit better. For this New Year's Day, this is a potential hair of the dog solution. When I get to actually physically being in New Year's Day, we'll see if I've indulged to the point I need to try something like this. I will try to be just that little bit restrained so I don't feel absolutely terrible the next day. But hey, it's New Year's Eve, who knows? Even if I'm staying at home, who knows what's gonna happen? And again, wherever you are, I hope you're looking after yourself. I hope you're staying safe, whatever that means, where you are. And hey, you know, find someone online. If you can't be somewhere because of COVID restrictions, find someone online to spend time with. The Japanese call it onnomi, online drinking. I do it! That's how I stay in touch with my friends around the country and around the world through the magic of the internet. So I hope you find a way to enjoy yourself. Yes, it's January 1st. Everything's going to magically get better now. We can fool ourselves, but yeah, let's hope 2021 is on the upward curve compared to 2020. What a year, eh? What a year. Anyway, looking forward to a brighter future. Hope you take care of yourself. Hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you did. Hit the little bell to get notifications when I upload. Be back at least 2 or 3 times a week with new cocktail ideas. Love to share them with you. Hope to see you again soon. But in the meantime, look after yourself. Look after people around you. Take care. Hope to see you again soon. Until then, cheers.